We are live. How you going? Woo! ¿Qué tal, mi gente? It's Andres here, host of Real Talk with Heather and Andres. And today I am by myself, so part of the noise getting started. This is how I get pumped up on a daily basis, getting my music, getting my mood going, getting the vibes up. So, welcome to Real Talk with Heather and Andres. This episode podcast where the quiet part of our loud and real estate business and the situation nobody wants you about, all while we are live streaming and there's no edits, as you can see. And this isn't coaching from a stage or highlight reels from social media. This is real stories, real mistakes, real money, and real consequences from agents, buyers, sellers, and business owners in real time. So if you want to hear from people in the field and other professionals who come on this show and hear how it really works, then you're in the right place. I'm Andres. Usually Heather's with me. Let's get into some real talk. Again, today I'm by myself. Today's episode usually is Am I the Asshole segment, right? And one of the things I want to bring up today is it's very along those lines. Am I the asshole, right? Because uh, you don't want to be just another, you know, another asshole. And what I mean by that is sometimes you got to ask the questions. Why are people acting the way they do? Why do they see you as an asshole? Is it because we didn't set boundaries? Or is it a healthy behavior? There's a number of things why people may think why you look like the asshole. And I'm actually going through a book right now with a team called Crucial Conversations, which is an incredible book that allows, on a personal level, have touched me, allow to see where I am in some relationships and how I'm handling some relationships. What stories have I told myself to go through certain conversations the way that I have done in the past, and what am I doing to change that and really dive into the heart of the conversations and the dialogues that we need to have. So I think it's a great book. Um, Crucial Conversations by Joseph Granny, Carrie Patterson. Check them out. So many great nuggets in there. But we're going into this segment. Are you wrong for being, for setting those boundaries? Are people calling you the asshole because you say no to them? Uh, you stop overgiving. You hold someone accountable. There's a number of things that people are not taking from that, and then seeing you as the asshole. One, you no longer want to comply or go along with what they want. And not everyone who's upset with you is a victim. Being uncomfortable and being mistreated, accountability feels like an attack to some people, and they want to avoid it. Then is one thing that I wanted to bring up is, and in particular case is, am I the asshole for outgrowing the version of me that was always available, always accommodating, and always putting others people first? And I think we see that happen from time to time in the close people that are the closest people to us. And now that I want to focus on the things that I can control, my time, my energy, my goals, and I'm not bending backwards the way that I used to. And the moment you change that, the moment you change your standards, people start calling you selfish. You know, have you guys come across anything like that? And let's be real, am I the asshole for just changing and not bending backwards anymore? Are you the asshole to some of those friends, some of the people that look up to you, that you used to bending over for them and accommodating them? Are you the asshole to them? Do they see you as the asshole? No. So if people only like you because of you're overextending yourself, that's not love, right? That's convenience. is what they need from you consistently. And growth will always look like a betrayal to the people who benefited from your lack of boundaries. We see that from time to time. You can't evolve and stay the same person for everyone. At some point, you have to make the decision that you need to set up those boundaries. You need to protect your time. You need to protect your interests. You need to protect what's important to you, and you cannot be bending over all the time for everyone around you. Where does that leave you? How are you putting time to the things that you need to put time in and continuously grow? Um, and there's a balance that needs to happen. You need to put that in place, and it's not a one sided. It doesn't need to stand out. But do you need to communicate that change? And the first time around, it's gonna sound like you're the asshole. People are not gonna like the change because you're not longer overextending yourself for them for the things that are important for them. And yeah, it's gonna feel shitty. It's gonna feel uncomfortable for everybody, but it's something that needs to happen. And I think we all go through those times, especially if you're in business where you're finding ways to accommodate everybody around you to make sure that they stay on the same page with you, to stay make sure that they're satisfied. But at the end of the day, you have to look in the mirror and make sure you are satisfied. You're doing what's right for you. For the people that are closest to you, and you're moving along on your goals in life. You're not just putting yourself and your goals at a standstill to continue to help others. And and I think it's a conversation you need to have with yourself consistently, making sure that you're staying true to yourself, staying true to what you want to the people, and and set up those boundaries accordingly. Well, hello, hello. Look like hold on, we're having some technical problems here, and this episode is just a completely change. I know I'm not the only one that's been there. I think a lot of people in business, and not just business. I think this happens in life overall. Um, we're used to accommodating. We're used uh, to putting people's best interests first, and the moment you stop doing that, then certainly look like the bad one in front of everybody that are used to benefiting from your time, benefiting from your energy consistently, and that's something that it's hard to do. But at the end of the day, you're not trying to be an asset. You're just trying to protect your time. You're trying to protect your energy and move along accordingly. So another thing I wanted to talk about is next week we're gonna have a special guest here on Tuesday. She recently started her business as a catering business, and I'm excited to interview her here because I know it was a scary process for her to get started, to get things rolling, and to look at the big picture and be comfortable in that space. And it's still a scary moment, very a lot of unknowns, just going through the motions of getting new clients, fulfilling the orders. So I'm excited to interview her here and getting to dive a little bit deeper with Heather into what those emotions were for her getting started and where they're at now and what it looks like moving forward, because little by little she's making changes in her business and growing in it and getting more and more comfortable. And I think that's one of the biggest and the scariest part in the as a entrepreneur is getting started. You have so many questions, so many doubts, so many things that you want it to be perfect, that you just so many unknown that you worried about that are not there yet. That once you launch yourself in it, you realize those were not even a problem at all. So I'm excited to get her on board here and ask her about it, about her business, because I think this is something that happens to all of us when you decided to go solo, when you decide to launch a business. Um, it's scary. You jump in the water with sharks, and everybody wants to take a piece of you. Everybody wants to take from here, from there. You have things coming in every directions. There's a lot of things happening around you um, that sometimes you don't know how to react. And and I'm curious to see what her mindset is now that she's in the water, learning how to swim, and and things are happening for her and her business. So we'll put that on the calendar for Tuesday. Excited to get dive into that. Excited to get Heather on board on that and ask her some tough questions. So stay tuned for that because again, it's a beautiful thing. Once you as an entrepreneur, and I said this to my wives often, it's hard to look back and go into a job. You know, look back and fall back into a job because uh, yes, it's challenging, it's tough, but there's a beauty to it. You know, it builds character. It helps you grow in so many different areas. And I personally have done so in a number of areas that I did not think never crossed my mind per se. And yes, I always wanted to be in the industry, in the real estate space. And now I see myself growing outside the real estate space as well. But on a personal level, the different things that came across, the relationships that I've built over the past 2 3 years, um, the skills that I've developed, the communication that I've gained from just putting myself out there. It's hard to think that the version of myself 5 years ago, 7 years ago, will be where I am today, and I'm grateful for the people around me that push me to get out of the comfort zone because that's one of the biggest thing. And I say this, and I think I mentioned it on the show about 7 years ago that I had an opportunity to grow within the company that I was at the time, and things did not go as planned. Right, I did not get the position I want. But rather than looking at that as a moment of disappointment, I was really a moment of gratefulness for me because it allowed me to see that I had much more to give than what that place was giving me, and that I was what I was gaining from being there. And that opportunity really opened my eyes to see that I am capable of more and more, much more than what I have here, and I need to get out of this comfort zone. And if I would have gotten that position, I think that would have put me in a level. Okay, this is I belong here. I'm comfortable here. I'm making more money. I'm growing, and it allowed me to stay in that space. And sometimes we really need an opportunity to see for ourselves that we are not appreciated as we thought we were, and and we need to step out of that comfort zone in order to grow and scale the way we want. And that happened to me 7 years ago. Then I decided to walk out of that, launch myself into the real estate space, and I have been growing ever since. And it's just crazy because at the moment we want to be disappointed, we are get discouraged that the things are not going our way. The things that we expected to happen are not happening, and it's hard to understand that that's for the best in that particular moment. Our emotions, our energy is flowing completely different, and we don't see the value in what's happening until years down the road where we can look back and totally make sense to it. And I think we see that happen quite often. You know, in life, we go through these chapters, through these journeys where things don't make sense. Things happen and they don't make sense. And it's not until we can go back and connect the dots that we can truly understand and see the value of the things that have happened in us. And and I'm a great believer because I've seen it happen to me a number of times. And sometimes you just got to take a chance, put yourself out there, and see what happens. If you don't put yourself out there in the tough situations, you're not putting yourself in a position of growth, and that's the most important thing. You have to continuously put yourself in the situation to get better, get yourself uncomfortable, whether it's a conversation, whether it's in a sport, whether it's in business, whether it's negotiating. Put yourself in this uncomfortable situation, and over time, you're going to continue to get better and growth out of that space and grow into even bigger and better things. So don't think as uncomfortable being some place and unfamiliarity as a place you don't want to be, but rather as a place of where you need to be in order to continue to growth and get better at the things that you want to do. Once you've reached that comfort level, that means you're settling. Can't settle. You have to continuously push yourself to do better things and get out of that. So so yeah, that's me. That's the past 2 3 years, and just like we did this podcast. I'm over here talking today solo because either spending time with her grandson, and I said, hey, I just take the opportunity to talk about me because really we sit here, we talk about am I the asshole or what would you do segment, we interview someone, but we rarely sit here and talk about us for you guys to get to know us, and I think this is a platform where we should be able to connect. So if you have a comment, you want to share something, you know, put it in the comment on the episode. Send us a message. We'll love to have you on board here and learn about your journey in the business industry or in life overall. I think, as we've seen here before, our story at some point no longer becomes ours. It's for us to share, to inspire other people along the way. And I'm a true believer in that. And once you make it somewhere, you have to look back and be able to help the people that are following you, push them over, help them grow along the way because um, just a beautiful thing to see other people grow in this space where you struggle and, and challenge yourself to continuously help others along the way because it's easy to focus and be spot on what you want and ignore the noise around you, ignore the people around you. It's easy to do that. But it's an amazing thing when you can bring somebody along with you and help them along the way. Uh, because we're not in here alone, right? Day in and day out, you walk around people that once you really sit down and have a conversation with them, you get inspired by their story. Oftentimes you're in the grocery store, you're at the store, and you don't know who you are next to. You don't know their story, the struggles that they went through, and it's easy to hide and put a curtain, put a cover on, and move forward and pretend everything is good. You know, a lot of people do a great job of putting a shell and protecting themselves, but when you really sit down and have a conversation and dive deep into what's going on, you get to see much more about who people are, and and sometimes they just need a push to get them over. They just need a hand to get up and get reminded of their goal and their vision, uh, and look back and take that as fuel to push forward to the next chapter in life. Not every obstacle, not every fall meant that's the end of the road. It's just something else that got you better, something else that was put in front of you to be able to step over, to be able to move forward, to jump, to make an additional your muscles, your memory, a lot better. And some people don't take every challenge in such a way, and they may just need a push. So just be mindful, stay focused, but also be mindful of who on those around you that are trying to get there, or that are trying to push forward, and give them a little push to get there. That's all it is. Sometimes that's all it takes. So yeah, going back to, am I the asshole for setting boundaries, to outgrowing the previous version of myself that was always willing to be available for everybody else? Am I the asshole for growing that version of myself? Not necessarily, but people are gonna see it like that. So people think that you should always be there for them, and sometimes you cannot. Sometimes you got to set up those boundaries and be for them in a different way. Identify what that way it is, and be there, be present, but also focus on what you need, because you both need to grow, and you cannot be just a person that's always willing to compromise and be there for everybody else. Sometimes somebody can be there for you. So simple as that. Well, I'm gonna keep it short today. Just me. I'm gonna put the music on, continue to focus, continue to work on the things that I need to get done today. But again, it's a great episode. Great to be here and be able to share this with you guys. Heather will join me back on Tuesday. And again, on Tuesday, we're going to interview one of the owners of the Three Strings catering business. So stay tuned for that. And I look forward to having you guys here as a guest and as an audience. So stay tuned for more. Pleasure to be here. Talk to you guys soon. And again, if this episode, I know it was just mainly about me, but if this episode resonated with you in any way, please share it in the comments. Let me know what you think. And again, more with Real Talk with Heather and Andres.